Welcome to TradeTheMBA.com. This is John. This reports for the 28th of September. Well, as we near the end of the month, we're finally seeing a little bit of turnaround from what has been a month-long general decay. We've had a couple of brief pop-ups. What we've been waiting for is to see the orange dip below the red here, and as we started to see an improvement in midterm buyers in green and the steel cross above, and that happened right here at the bottoming and before we bounced off the 23% Morganacci line here. And now we have, well, orange under red fractionally. We also have green above red. So these are all the things we look for. We had the steel already cross a couple bars early, but within the range, and you have a bit of a drop off of shorts, which is what has led to the rise. In this particular case, too, you have rising low from Morganacci, so it's pretty much reached that leveling off point right there, and we should be able to start seeing a straight across contraction. Now, with that, we also had Power Mo 2 in an upswing for the Azure line, and then the crossing of the magenta, which is what we look for signaling, and then also now you have, well, it just started to create the shakeout moving nicely above, still within a declining red, so whether or not this is super sustainable or not remains to be seen, but that's going to have to show some much stronger improvement. The fact that we never dipped below the red line I thought was key, because we never got into this negative oversold situation that just usually exacerbates itself and continues. We reached the pretty optimal green, and it was just a matter of waiting for it to begin to spike up, and that's what's led to this. So what we'll be looking for will be the return back toward the 50% line, which is the 33.42 range, and of course you've got to get up to where the new 38 is, almost equivalent to that. That's the new one is at 33.30, which is roughly just a little bit below the previous 50%, and the previous 38 was down at the 32 range. So that lifting will just basically give us a reset right back to that 50% marker, which is what funds look for. They're taking advantage of when you get that slight dip below. They chose the 23 to start adding into it. That's when we started to first see turnaround in short-term, mid-term buyers. We're still kind of flatlining with the red below the negative 13.5. That will need to tick up if this is going to have any hope of sustaining itself. And this is going to be the wild ride leading up to the election. It's going to go back and forth. We get the big debate on Tuesday. That's going to create a lot of fluctuation based on what people think performance-wise. And so I think we'll see a lot come out of that as the race starts to, solidify or become more uncertain. Is really going to impact what we see in markets. From a gold standpoint, we've just got no bounce yet because we're still filling positive extremes. This one is the last one right here, right around the 1835 range. So a little bit further to go. It's just slowly working there. It's taking quite a while, but that's, positive extremes can be like that, but it's like you have the target, you know where it's going to go, and it's just a matter of filling that back in. And then oil's been in a straight across line simply because there's no real change in the amount of economic activity. From an intraday, though, beautiful action as we get both the declines, the buildups, and then we just keep repeating. We moved right back up to the 100% line after the slight dip, and then it was just off to the races for the rest of the day. Most of the day we spent with cyan under red, which on the DOC is just a no-brainer. You didn't have to do anything with that. It wasn't until we got to the 100% here that we started to see some DOC spreads that were strongly activated, mostly because when you have red DOC that gets all the way above plus 13.5, it's not sustainable. So it's one of those where you take profits and then look for little retraces. What was nice about these retraces, they all came right at the previous algo level at the 32.85. So the same numbers that we've talked about forever that have just been sitting there. We did create a whole new series of positive extremes. Let me draw that one, why not? So we would look at the horizontal line that was right here. And right about there. So again, right in that zone of 20 point-ish move. It's a little bit more between the 33.12 and 85, but nonetheless, still great range, and that's perfect. So indicator updates are being compiled for the end of the month. I'll be sending out your renewals, so you'll be all set, because we will have a middle of the week transition to the new month. And whoa, get ready for October. Could be really interesting. Looking forward to it, though. As always, trade well. We'll talk again later.